Hey guys, Lex here, back for some more of the Great Ace Attorney. Last time we were going through, Shamsphere and Green's testimonies. Yeah, it looks like Green did poison him. Let's continue with what she has to say for herself. Order, what do you have to say for yourself with this? Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose names we've heard several times during the course of this trial. So that's what's behind all this. You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life? Duncan Ross. That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up the residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garrett, somebody else was renting the room, Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague. Oh, of course, yes, I remember now. The young man they claim was strangled by the convict's curse or some such. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamsphere's blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple. Oh! Oh, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths. It's all people care about. It's an interesting story they want you to know. It doesn't really cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you? Duncan was... Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé. Fiancé? You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamsphere. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy, the murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Marry? Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamsphere, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? Oh shit. This case is crazy. No one got murdered, but 2 people tried to murder another person. Oh, this is quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel, each of different counts of murder? Yes, this is a good case. I like this case. Yes, my lord, that is correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend is taken in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why would Mr. Shamsphere have wanted to kill these lodgers, you say? You have completely failed to prove your motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been cited. 'Tis lies, all lies, deny on every utterance. You'll have to forgive me, Mr. Narada, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green. Sure, you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be set to the gallows with the likes of this scoundrel.
Objection!
But you broke into the man's room. You didn't do it to smear poison. If you didn't do it to smear poison in the pipe, what was your reason? I thought I'd have a look around, that's all. So you admit to breaking in? Haha. Sorry. You're right, I suspected. Well, I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that was him who took Duncan's life. Oh, vilest, oh, villainy, oh, tyranny, oh, rotund of women. But in any case, whenever I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some turps and a piece of wire. Oh, awfulness, or awfulness, oh tyranny, oh profanity of woman. You will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed. Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place. Yes, we also discovered that hiding place. Inside, we found a newspaper cutting and a photograph and an empty tin box. Ah, yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty. What? There was something in it? Yes. Oh. This rather nice key. Ah! What are you doing with that? What though? Every ounce of color is streaming from his face. Give it here. Give it to me now. It's mine. I inherited it. What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it? No, what is all this about? He inherited that key? It was obviously important to you, since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. And so what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this minute. Give it to me. Calm yourself, witness. So Mr. Shamsphere has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yet his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusations against Mr. Shamsphere at first. Considering everything we now know, I think there's actually something that could explain it. What? I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all of these events. In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is that you can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamsphere's alleged crimes?
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not? The Selden file. How did you get a hold of that? Selden? The now sadly deceased Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes. We all know this, certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. I see. And it so happens that the convicted Selden left behind once a very substantial mystery when he died. That's some £1,000 worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found. Ah, yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here. £1,000 lost en route to hell. That was how the paper summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with the most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot, perhaps a key, to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. And it would be very easy to pick a lock with those kinds of teeth. You mean this key is... Mr. Shamsphere, it was you, wasn't it? You were the capital offender's bride when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? This is a false charge, I tell you, a false charge. The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is. But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant on the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. comes out. I wanted it. Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamsier's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. He was left out of prison following Sultan's death, made immediately for Mr. Garrett's lodgings in the hope of renting Sultan's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodations of his choice, because Sultan's old room had already been let to someone else, Mr. Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shamsier subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was so successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it. Mr. Soseki Natsume, the defendant of this case no less. So he decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamsier? It's time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason: to get your hands on 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. So you admit it? Yeah. Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before I get struck in the neck. Listen, I want you to have my loot, anything to stop the coppers from getting it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in there, I guess. Shams fair. It's mine. Huh? What did you say? It's mine. That loot is mine. Oh shit. Mr. Shamsphere? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me. For the time being, anyway. Verily, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Ah! So close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. You really think I'd just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man's guilty through and through. But he seems to be utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that, however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Narrator. There is a way. Pardon? There's one way I can finish him. No! He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot, which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan, were it not for the fact the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. Only there's some way we could find the convict's loot quickly. This is the final piece of this complex puzzle. I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. My lord. Yes, counsel. The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we already are in possession of something that could give us a clue to where its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already. It definitely paid off then. Very well then, counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's home? No. Never used this. Is it gonna be the soap?
Take that!
This is my proposal, my lord. Okay. We could use that, can't we? Okay. I'm just throwing shit out. Stop waiting. Wasting the court's time on rubbish. I was just throwing shit out. Oh, I got my stars back too. Oh good. I forgot to check if I got all my stars back. Already found one more secret hiding place. Plus we have. Someone else beat us to it. I think the method we used are still in there in the court road. What secret hiding place? So either the handprints or this gas meter. Try this. If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamsphere's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, my lord, exposed as a result of Defense's independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective Mr. Sholmes. Great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be taunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when one hears one, Mr. Shamsphere. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of the most ridiculous title. Ah, this Herlock Sholmes himself. What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not? Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. I see your complexion has worsened since last we met. Mr. Sholmes, he does know Lord Van Zieks then. We'll have to say something like that in any case. Mr. Sholmes, I thought you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large. It does not give you the right to come and go into my courtroom as you see fit. I may, my lord. Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already. Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's grass pipe activities. We needed only a small sample of something the individual had previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, yes. What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict arrested, he was living in what was now Saseki-san's room. Need a sample to help locate Sullivan's loot that's hidden in the old room. What form of sample was that? Okay, so we don't have evidence, so I'm going to present a person. You will need something of Mr. Sullivan's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot, and something the convict only happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? For whom can we obtain a possession of the late convict Sullivan to create the indicator solution?
Take that!
And this is more magic stuff again. My screen. Me? What do you want with me? Key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. But she's been holding it, and so has he. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create an indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. It find exactly where Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Oh, Mr. Shamsville has one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. Oh. So, Mr. Shamsville, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have his key. No, give the key to me. The detective shan't have it. It's over, Mr. Shamsville. No. You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Whoa. Oh, shameful brew, despair, be thy name. Is he getting sniped? Get him. I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room, that's all. So you'd have to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? After you killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing. Oh, that's why. Mr. Garrett really has a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in just at the right moment to sign the new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume, what an unfortunate timing. Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road, when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No. The scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And if I remember correctly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books. Couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, he once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds to the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead into a deadly trap. William Shakespeare. How does it go? To be or not to be, that's the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. Not guilty? Yeah. First, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation that night before Duncan died. Gas supply, my new lodgings are now a complete disaster, you know, Olive. Gas supply? Yes, the stove always seemed to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There's just spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember? But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night you fell victim to the gas. Only I'd known it was going to happen. I've insisted he left that horrible room that instant. And instead all I've been left with was bitter regret. I stopped going to school. But something kept drawing me back to that house on the Briar Road. I saw a stooped eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up to the rid of the grubbery for some food, so I followed him. Sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. That place is cursed, I tell you, cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove had gone out. The room is full of gas, and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like, I'm the problem! That's what they're thinking! But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered. A rumor I'd heard about the gas companies go around investigating gas installations. A rumor? Ah, you mean? Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. Well, anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. A flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I got the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End. A black market? Never been. I just heard people talk about them. You can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder? And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Shamsphere was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly. I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shamsphere, and then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else of this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. If he did, I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to know. So I waited to see if it worked. And of course, the Mr. Shamsphere followed the instructions to the letter. Worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of poison I'd brought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get his just desserts. Still going to jail, but I wouldn't vote guilty. That's what jury nullification's for. "3 days ago, when you first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward." "Yes, my lord." "I certainly never imagined the depths of the depravity we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Japanese friend." "Oh, yes." "And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green." "Yes, my lord." "You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamsphere." "Yes, I know." "And you, Mr. Shamsphere, you will be tried for the murder of Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Sasaki Natsume here present." "Mr. Naruto?" "Ah, yes." "Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from..." From ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle? I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. It's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Huh. Well, personally, I'm glad of you being here, Miss Green. Oh. I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamster didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Yeah, so we can at least prove that Suski's innocent. Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green! Mr. Sosuke Natsume. Yes, my lord. The court declares you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I will call on the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare defendant not guilty. Woo! Fireworks! Yeah! Court is adjourned. The 3rd of February, 3:24 p.m. The Old Bailey, Defendants' Antechamber. Oh, yes, yes, at last. Divine justice duly done! Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would have shaved that mustache. No! This has nothing to do with my mustache! Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes. Welcome, student Mr. Nard Esquire. Once again, you've saved me from doom. I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. Oh, I was first acquitted with gained affection for English literature within our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I'd never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now. I dragged you out of that dark, dingy room of yours, did I not? You did. I've seen more of life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of English that's so far been hiding from behind a wall of fog. My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are a few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. It worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that wherever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way. I've made a decision too. Going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan. What? Just when we'd become friends here in England. What a terrible shame. Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my, so you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume? How wonderful. Oh, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature. Why not, when that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache? suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur.
I, for one, would love to read your work.
Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. Ah, that's very true.
And there's no salvation for the person on the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
The desire to return post-haste to perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand.
My goodness, yes. Faced with such terrifying prospect, nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm sure.
But that's...
That's not why I'm leaving, I mean it! Objection!
That was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Osuki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. I was on reading in that report that Professor Mikotoba was brought in to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Sato-san was given news that she must return to Japan as well, on the back of a telegram stating falsely her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial, on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. Where is it? 24th of February, 10:13 a.m. Mr. Natsume's room. Where is it?
Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you. You uncovered a secret hiding place in just one day.
Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellow, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson?
Ah! Grixie's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily, I think perhaps humorously might be the closer to the truth.
So it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's hall. Boy, what is that? What letter is that? B?
It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar.
Collar? It's huge though. I don't recognize that symbol.
And look at all the gemstones set in it. And see why it was claimed to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed on the inside there? There are some dark stains.
You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
Second thoughts, perhaps I wouldn't have it as a belt. And of course there's this emblem here. A large letter B, a small crown.
So it is a B. What does it signify, do you think?
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before. Now, where could it have been?
It's enough of that, I think. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color has drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, oughtn't you? Could be valuable evidence after all. Must be kept safely under lock and key. Ah, yes. Get your grubby hands off it, you lot. Hand it over now. Hey, you don't even have gloves on. Get fish and chips on it. I've never seen a collar that large before. All this jewel certainly looked to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out most to me. At least, not once I'd noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood? Obviously.
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I'm starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of the smut story in the magazine. that this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
Talking about the latest installment of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
The mystery of the knife in the mist. The mustached man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I could make it a 2-part story.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
A word please, Iris.
Yes, what is it, Harley?
Sorry, but can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
And I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of the 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Aw man, what's going on?
Yes.
God, I wanna... What the hell?
And so it was that
Oh.
the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity.
Oh, I wasn't expecting
Now,
him.
looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story.
Why? Tell me.
It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened
Oh,
and would happen.
okay then.
For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Ooh. What happened? Oh man. Oh, alright. That was a really good case. That was fun. Achievement unlocked. The key of knowledge. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Next time we'll start the 3rd case. And yeah, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. See ya. Bye.